goodness. All right, we had to start it all over again, so now we got to wait on everybody to get in here, so it'll take a while. So we may have to send that link out.
Houston, we have a problem.
They may be in the old one. Ew. No, we don't like that. Take that off.
Send me the live, and I'll send it into the group chat. I mean, not the group chat.
What's that? Your Wi-Fi? All right. Copy link. Sorry guys, sorry. It was acting strange. The one that I set up was acting weird. Grace, thank you. Glad that you made it. We're gonna try to get this out. Hey, G-Grip, thanks for joining, man. Yeah, we got it straight. There's something YouTube did different, and all right, go sit over there. And we were trying to get it. It wouldn't allow me to orient the orientation of my phone. It wouldn't do it. So yeah, it was acting very weird. So thank you guys. We got some people trickling in, enjoying a white monster. So we've got a little bit of a different thing to line up for this evening. I'm used to the camera being over here and it's over here, so I got to look left. But we got 11 people, so we're waiting on a couple people to stroll in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the live stream. We've been saying forever we was going to do this, and so glad that we could finally do it. I've been out walking on the golf course all day, so we won't be here forever, but we'll be here for a little bit. But thank you, 11. Now it's changed to 13, so now everybody's figuring out that Mr. Ferguson's an idiot the way he set up the previous live stream. So I do have some guests over here that I'm not going to tell you. You may have seen them on the Jacked Up stream. We got two guests over here to my left. I'm not going to tell you yet, but we'll give a few minutes for some questions and some answers, some more people to roll in, and then we'll bring them in, and we'll have like a discussion with regular DIYers that, I don't want to say we suck at lawn care, but we're not professionals, but we're just going to talk about it as a group and have a discussion here. So thank you for tuning in. If you got a question, you can ask it for the first couple minutes before we get our guests in here. We have a very professional set out here on my back porch where my wife has been working sanding the coffee table. So we're so professional that other streams just can't handle what we do here on our channel.
Is there a specific topic?
No, it's not a specific topic. It's just if you got a question, you want to ask it before we bring in the guests, you're welcome to. If not, we're just talking. Hope everybody's having a good evening. I will share with you, Mr. Kevin. If you're not aware who Mr. Kevin is, he's a great guy. He likes to wear hats. He has a cat. All right, here we got it. Okay, hold on. I knew Hop Along Johnny would ask a question. So we had our roof replaced this past Thursday, so that went successfully. I left for a while because I didn't want to see all these people trampling on my beautiful lawn, but they did an excellent job. Shout out to Tyler. He may tune in. I don't know. The guy that did the roof for me and Kevin said he subscribed. So shout out to him. What was the question?
Yeah, what are you using to help control Bermuda in your fescue? I'm using Ornamec 170.
Okay, so we're going to talk about a Bermuda in a minute. So anyways, me and Mr. Kevin, we got new roofs, so we'll show you that. We get to do a new intro with the new shiny roof. So as far as Bermuda this year, for me, I'm not really messing with Bermuda at all. To be honest with you, part of watering all the time helps keep the grass from going dormant, and therefore it kind of fills in that spot. And I see a little bit of Bermuda back where we did Fusillade last year. But I'm not messing with it because the reason why I did have to overseed my front yard, I had a couple holes right there in the ditch area, and it's because Fusillade was so powerful, and trying to do that, it weakened the fescue, it weakened the Bermuda, but it killed that off and I had to replant. So I've chose just to let it be. Some of it's grown in, but honestly, standing back and even sometimes mowing, I can't even tell there's Bermuda there. So it's something that if it gets worse and worse and worse, there are a couple products out there. Some of them are very expensive. Fusillade 2 is one that, man, everybody told me in the comments that stuff's powerful. That the smell of it is powerful enough. We put some out at the project lawn at the church because just to do it and try it. It killed some weeds, but it really didn't do a lot to the Bermuda. So it's a challenge because you're talking about a warm season grass and a cool season lawn. It's challenging. So it's always good. So if you can just I don't want to say put it off, because obviously Bermuda is going to come back, but we use the green shoots. I use that a lot in this late spring. That's something, it's glyphosate and it's precision gel. You can put that in there, and obviously you may have to do it several times with Bermuda, but that's something to where you could hit straight up the Bermuda and not really hurt the fescue. So yeah, like G-Grip said, Roundup. So we got some more folks rolling in. Cool. So we've been live on the right stream. We had problems on the first stream if you're joining. So Northeast Indiana, Rick, thank you so much, Rick, for joining. I see some pop in here. I got my daughter here to my right to help me out. So she's going to ask one more question while we're getting more people in, hopefully. So let me answer Donnie. What is Pete going to do after his about his mower reviews? Do you talk to him? I do. I'll tell you guys something that Pete is wanting to come by and have a discussion with me one-on-one. We've emailed back and forth. We don't regularly talk. We don't regularly text each other, but we do talk. And he said, hey, I want to get up with you at some point. We've not made those arrangements. I'm not sure what he wants. He could be saying, Mr. Ferguson, please stop promoting my business. Quit talking. It could be totally something bad. It could be something good. I have no idea. But I'm not sure. I've tried to keep up with some of Pete's videos as far as his new property. He's out there in the sticks, sitting on stumps, talking about this is where my living room's going to be. It's where my so he's having a ball out there, and I know he's doing a lot of the cleaning videos. And so it's difficult when you're making lawn care videos and trying to make 3 a week to sit down and watch other lawn care people. It's like you get enough of the feel of the lawn care that you not digesting it on YouTube a lot, really. So anyways, plus trying to play golf, trying to go out with the family. We got church events, men retreats, men things that we've been doing, just lots of things going on, school events. So, all right, one more question. Let's see, we can go, yeah, we maybe could do a couple more.
David Croson says, how's your dad's lawn and his mower?
Yeah, thanks, David. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming by. Yeah. My guests over here may or may not attend church and know the answer to this. So when we got back from Ecuador, if you don't know the story, Dad's lawn was, I showed some videos of it. It's looking better. They've had rain over there where we've not had rain over here. It's that guy with no helmet, ain't it? Yep, I knew it. The guy on the motorcycle in the neighborhood. His lawn is recovering. It's looking better. He did fix his mower. Things are going better. But when we got back from Ecuador, we talk a lot about spiritual warfare. And he lost a tooth. His push mower wheel fell off. He locked up on his riding mower. He got a flat tire on his car headed to the church. He got charged on his credit card in Ecuador an extra $350 for using the card internationally. His monitor died all in the same day. And it's just like the Monday after coming back from Ecuador. So David, he's doing better. They're actually, today I was out on the golf course. They're having the River Golf and Country Club over in Lewisburg, North Carolina. They're having their, yeah, Devin, me too. I was laughing my butt off about that. I'll put it that way. But today they're having the club championship golf tournament. And so I walked and just followed Dad with his group, and he played really well. He choked a little bit on 18. He pulled a driver where he shouldn't have. He should have hit an iron out in the fairway. But anyways, he shot like a 76 today. So playing for that parking spot over there. So I'm watching the timer for our guests because I don't want to keep them waiting. So we got about 5 more minutes. Would you please, my daughter, quit making noises? Glad to hear your dad's doing well. Cool. Thanks, David. So, all right, next question.
James Scott wants you to say hey to their kids, Lucas and Sophia.
Lucas and Sophia, I hope you're doing well today. Mr. Ferguson is nobody special. I'm a regular guy. So you get to meet 2 really awesome people here in a little bit. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Put in the comments where you're from. But thank you guys for tuning in. We don't do this often, but maybe if you like this and you like this kind of Q&A stuff to talk, we can do this more often. But thank you guys. I appreciate you watching. It's a privilege and honor to be able to do this. We don't do it often. That's why I brought 2 guests on, so I don't look like an idiot standing up here for 45 minutes. So Massachusetts, I think I saw. So thank you guys so much. Hickory, there we go. Louisville, Kentucky. All right, we got some. I watch, hey Nathan, do you ever watch the Bell Life? I see you're from Louisville. They're from, I think, Covington, Kentucky. I watch their gun channel and their blog, and I watch the Bell Life sometimes. They're cursed. They used not to curse so much. Now they curse more, and I'm like, but sometimes those jokers, they're Kentuckyites or whatever they are. I don't know, but they're funny. So I enjoy watching them. Do what?
Climax.
Climax. All right, Climax.
That's their
DC.
announcement.
Fish, what's up, Fish? I know that name. I've seen you, man. Jersey, man. Hope you're doing well. It's cooler up there than it is down here. Even right now, guys, it's what, 7:30, somewhere around 7:15. Man, it's a little humid out here. So
Did you get Larry Bird's question?
Who?
Larry Bird.
Yeah, so we have ever try straight urea from 4600, like from agriculture supply
4600.
store? Seems like the cheapest form or nitrogen. Would be curious to see the results compared to some of the premium products like HC.
Yep, I've heard that a lot. Is that Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Larry. Yeah. I've tried the humic coated urea, which is just a added. Yes, it is. Humidity is out of control. The humic coated urea is just another layer of coat. You're getting humic acid plus you're getting the urea. So straight urea, I would assume it would do the very same thing. And as many have told me, Mr. Ferguson, you can get straight urea cheaper than that Anderson's humic coated urea. And I use that humic coated urea. I use that bag. I think I bought a 45 or 50 pound bag, but I use that thing. What? Mom? Somebody said something about mom. I saw it. What did they say?
Mom, can you bring me a drink?
My daughter. But anyways, with that urea, I'm telling you guys, if you're up north where Fish is, somewhere in Jersey, obviously it's going to be fall quicker than for you guys. I would challenge, if you've never used urea, I would use it. Be careful with it. It's 44% nitrogen, so don't spill it. If you're doing a granular application, don't spill it in your lawn. You're going to torch it. I did it liquid, and make sure you're evenly applying it, because when we're doing fertilizer, if you miss a patch, if you stop and go inside to eat dinner, come back out, and all of a sudden you forget where you were, you may have a strip that's not like the other one. So do it in one sweep. But I absolutely love the urea. I think I'm going to go for that again at some point this year for sure, because just the dark, rich green color it provided was ridiculous. Hey, Franklin, Kentucky out there, big red racer. Thanks for tuning in, man. So we got about 3 more minutes, and we're going to bring in our guests, and we're going to just discuss your questions. So we don't have set questions, but I will say one of the things that you guys can expect on the channel, we're talking about fall. We're getting ready for fall. That's kind of what I'm doing now, because we can talk about summer, we can talk about the heat. It gets boring. You guys are like, Mr. Ferguson, we hear you talk about heat all the time. Talk about stress grass and watering and all that, but we're moving into that time where we're starting to think ahead. And so I think I'm going to do another video on tenacity again and talk about that. And just as a preview, I don't use tenacity a lot. Really, the only time I've used it is really at the time of seeding. And in addition to that, tenacity is a name brand. So when you're talking about tenacity, it's the miso, I don't know what the short miso. But I think Mr. Kevin used it in his fertilizer. You can now find where they're putting miso in granular fertilizer, and it's just a little pre-emergent / post-emergent. It will handle some of the weeds at the time you're fertilizing and that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. An update that I will tell you before we go into it, the project lawn. So I've got a video coming out soon about that. I did do an application there. That's all I'll say. So you'll watch the video and be like, oh, you already told us that. But I was talking with the pastor over there, and that's news to the people to my left. But he recommended, I did a soil test. So I told you guys I needed to do a soil test. I think I put that out already. I can't remember. But if I did, I took my probe to church, and I said, we're going to take my last soil test and do it for the church. And I couldn't get that thing in the dirt about that far. It was like ½ an inch, and I was like, oh my gosh. Everywhere I went, I'm telling you guys, applying that humic acid to my lawn, obviously, number one, my lawn has been aerated many times, obviously. And so even before I started in 2019, my dad was coming out here with that little spike rolly aerator. So it was at least loosening compaction, right? And so I could get it down. But at the church, it's like, bloop, it's like hard as concrete. So we've got a lot of RGS, a lot of humic 12 that may be going into that. I should have done a soil test previously. So if you're in the boat of, well, I'm gonna be doing a new lawn this fall, and it's not a fresh construction, whatever, it's a piece of property maybe you bought from the 60s or for whatever, go out there, get a probe. Oh my gosh, this is hard. Start applying humic, start loosening up. Aerate is another great product to put down for liquid aeration. So just wanted to put that out there. We got the soil test in. Actually, one of my guests, his wife is very close to the church. She may be mailing that out for us. So anyways, yeah. So the soil test, we'll look at that. But what I was going to tell you was, talking with the pastor, he recommends let's get some topsoil and put some out there. He said that's what I had to do for my lawn. It's so brick hard, aeration might help. So we may be doing that. We actually have a connection by my old house where I used to live. There's a guy there that sells topsoil, and we called him, and we can get 12 yards at a time. And for 12 yards, they said somewhere around $240. So not bad, rock free. And we got a guy in the church, a guy that actually got me my job and works with me. He's got a Bobcat or something similar, and is going to come out and help us spread that. So I think that would help. That's going to help, and we still may do aeration just to loosen it up. But the church property, as I've told you guys, for the project lawn is a lot of rock. We had to get jackhammers out there for the foundation, so it could be more than bit off more than I could chew, basically, if we have tons of rock and we don't get any growth. So anyways, that's enough of that. All right, so we've been on for 16 minutes, so we're gonna bring the guests over. So let's see how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna lower you guys, so bear with me. We're not having stream malfunctions anymore, but I'm going to lower this down. If y'all wanna bring y'all's chairs around, and my daughter's gonna help me out, because now that I'm going to lower you guys, we're not going to be able to see the screen, so I won't be able to see. So we're going to lower this down some. And actually, what I'll do is I'll turn you guys to the side for a second. There you go. You can look at Natalie and a cucumber.
Do you guys like my phone case?
Yeah, so I don't know if
it was $2. And I'm sunburnt because I went to the pool today.
I can scooch over. All right. Y'all want to go closer?
It's really beautiful.
We'll be all right. You can be the middle. All right. So you guys may notice this. Look, we're gonna get this down here. I may need to drop it down. Let me know how that looks on stream. If it don't look good, we can drop it down some. But let me know how the sound is. There we go. What do y'all think? Sorry that you got to look at us, but we got over here. It's Mr. Blake. If you guys don't remember, this is Mr. Blake. We did a video on his lawn, so he's going to share with us something that he brought special for us. And you guys know Mr. Kevin right here. He's the one that we got the new roof and everything, lives right across the street. So yeah, so we figured instead of just, sorry, I got to get at the monster. Instead of just seeing me all the time, you got a couple of DIYers here. I got my daughter here, so you guys ask questions. What's some of the thoughts, what's some of the questions that that is going through your mind as far as your lawn, or you're like, I'm questioning if I should do this. We're regular guys, we're not professionals. So what do they always say? The information we give you is worth what you pay for it, or something like that. Like, it's free.
Is absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So we got Mr. Kevin, we got Mr. Blake. They both attend my church. They're both my buddies. So I was like, hey, y'all come over so they don't have to look at me all the time. We can kind of just discuss things. So if you don't want to ask a lawn question, if you just have questions, feel free to ask questions as well. So I got Natalie over here, so that's my daughter. So if you hear Natalie, that's who I'm referring to. So Natalie, do you got something?
Yeah. Neil White says, I use prodiamine 2 times in the spring. What should I use in a few weeks to control POA?
Good. Do y'all want to take first crack, or you want me to take first crack?
Well, I would take this, except I'm having a hard time remembering what the name of the other.
Dithiopyr?
Yeah, I'm going to let you pronounce that, but yes.
Dithiopyr, dithiopyr. What's the other one I heard? I actually watched Matt Martin from Grass Factor do a video on prodiamine versus, he said dithiopyr. I'm like, I like dithiopyr. I've already started it. I'm sticking with dithiopyr, but go ahead. Yeah.
And from what I understand, there's actually some advantages to dithiopyr.
Right.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Especially for POA annua.
Yeah.
That, there are some studies out there that say that it's slightly better. In fact, that's the strategy I plan to use this fall. Is to spread that because I've had problems with POA annua, particularly in my backyard. So.
Yep. Yep.
We'll see how that goes.
Anything on that topic, Mr. Blake? I don't want to leave you out.
No, I'm still learning on that topic.
See, yeah, and Mr. Blake, he's learning. So he might not say a lot, but he's going to show us some very special stuff in a minute. But what Neil said, always make sure you read the label. Yeah. He got some special stuff over there. That'll be our sponsor here. Sponsored by Hunter Smoke Shack and Sweets. Yes, Mr. Kevin is awesome.
Thank
You
you.
want to see Mr. you want to see more Mr. Kevin, give us some smiley faces in the chat for Mr. Kevin. But Neil, sorry, I'm going to finish your question here. So if you used prodiamine in the spring, calculate it up. The correct answer is to calculate it up and see if you've used your yearly limit. That's the correct answer. I know we're DIYers. We're like, screw that, man. I'm just going to do what works. That's reality. That's how we think. But like Mr. Kevin said, you do have that option of dithiopyr, dithiopyr, and prodiamine, to where if you've hit your max in the spring, which I don't think you should have, then you can go with one or the other. I don't know. It depends.
If you do a split app in the spring, I think typically that's your
max.
limit. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd have to check your local regulations.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yep, there's a good video that I will recommend. Oh, we got a lot of smiley face from Mr. Kevin. There is a video by Grass Factor. If you look it up on YouTube after the stream, don't do it during the stream, do it after the stream. Matt Martin talks about it for like 20 minutes. I listened to it. He gets into talking about how pre-emergence can affect the grass roots, like the roots of existing grass. It can affect it in a negative way, using them all the time. The other thing to think about is, like me, I've just done, last year was the first time I did dithiopyr, dithiopyr, because I've used prodiamine, and I've only used it in the spring because I've been overseeding every time in the fall. So I've never had to use pre-emergent in the fall, so I never had this issue. But like you said, I would bounce back and forth from both of them. Some people said dithiopyr is better with crabgrass. I don't know if that's true. I've heard that, so it's better for spring, and I've heard that prodiamine may be better for poa annua, or it could be vice versa. That's why I tell you, do your research, but you've got both of those at your disposal. That pre-emergent, regardless, I would say regardless, use pre-emergent. It's so worth it to help you fight weeds in your lawn. Obviously just having a thick lawn, number one, is important, but number two, when you have pre-emergent down, I did it for the first time last year. I had almost zero. I don't recall ever seeing any poa annua back here in my backyard using dithiopyr. So, and in the front yard, we've talked about that with, you got ethofumicate as an alternative if you have to overseed, which can be applied just like tenacity at time of seeding. So, sorry.
More questions? So we have Mr. Larry left.
See you, Mr. Laird. You're gone, but see you anyway.
Nathan Earl says, "This is my first year of lawn care. What is something you wish you would have known your first year of lawn care?" So he's asking for first-time lawn care advice.
All right, Mr. Blake, you got to have something that. What's the first? What do you
I
wish
was
you
gonna
knew?
say this will be my third fall, so this is my second season. I'm going into my third. The one thing I wish I'd have known was how much seed to actually throw down.
Yeah.
You can't. You gotta lay it down heavy.
Yeah.
You gotta lay it down heavy, and the soil test was a big learning curve for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first year I did no soil test.
Right.
So I just went in there, tore everything out. All I had was crabgrass and clover in my front yard. So I was just like, I'm tired of it. Killed it all off, and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then got some advice from a regular over here, and this year we're looking a lot better.
Yeah.
Not near the die-off I had the first go-round during the summer. But we have had a better summer than we did.
I think last
Slightly
August,
better.
Slightly
last August we got so lucky because we had that like cold front kick in for like, we had 70, like high 70s, and we got rain, and like August was a breeze last year. I remember, because like, oh my God, and that's why, one of the reasons why my lawn survived, because we had this abnormal cool down. So, but me and Mr. Kevin both get to drive by Mr. Blake's lawn on the way to church, like tomorrow morning, and it looks good. I'm like, man, it's coming along. He had that thing right for 4th of July, so go check that video out in the history. Now you've met Mr. Blake. You can see the cool little circle shot I did. I like that edit. Y'all didn't appreciate it as much as I did, but I like that edit. So. But anyway, Mr. Kevin,
I liked it.
What's one thing that you think is you wish you knew going into it?
As one, you know, I think maybe I've been at it maybe a year, 2 years longer than you have. Probably, you know, the first thing would be the seed. You know, is understanding that you really got to put seed down. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a thick lawn is absolutely number one, the best thing that you can do. Yeah. But second to that is kind of understanding weeds. Because everyone's going to have weeds. I don't care. You have the best lawn on the block. You know, we talk about it sometimes. I mean, your lawn looks absolutely spectacular from across the street, but if
Right.
you get over here and stand over top of it, you'll find, you know,
Yeah,
this,
onesie
that, and the
twosies.
other. And that's actually, but you know, Fergie's done some great lessons on that. But understanding weeds and understanding kind of how to fight them, I think has been probably my biggest learning curve. So,
Yeah.
I think I'll add the quality of seed.
Yeah.
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 The quality of seed.
That's whoever asked that question, that is huge. You can go to Walmart. We've done videos on this, and I do the same things over and over and over again because we always have new people joining the channel, right? And the guys and girls that have been here for a while, like Mr. Ferguson, you talk about the same thing all the time. But you can go to Walmart, and I think, and I don't want to say the wrong brand, so I'm not. But I looked at the back of it, it's like toxic weeds, 0.05%. And I'm like, oh my God, like noxious weeds. Like any bag of seed that you're going to throw in your lawn, there is a label that has to be required by law to be on the back of that seed or the front of the seed. And it tells you everything that's in it. Like Mr. Blake said, that is why I like GCI turf. It is not, quote, blue tag certified like Triple Threat, like what Mr. Kevin has on his hat here. They are blue tag certified. But Pete, he's got the label. It's tested by a third party of some sort. I don't know who tests it, to be honest with you. But it tells you if there's any weed seeds in it. And GCI seed, we know, has no weed seeds. So you know that you're not sowing weeds into your lawn. If you just go order, and I did this actually before I got a lawn care plan, which was my answer, is to get on a lawn care plan. When I came out to work on my lawn in the beginning, it was spring. Just like I do those videos all the time. Spring is when everybody comes out like, man, it's time to work on my lawn. Well, if you're doing fescue, it's not, it's fall. But there's a lot of stuff you can do in spring, and that's exactly what I did. I got on a lawn care plan from the LCN, the lawn care nut, followed that, did biostimulants. Like I'm talking about, I can take a probe now and stick it in my dirt and not have it like the church lawn. And I did all of this prep up till fall, and then I did aeration and seed and learned about the importance of seed, learned about the importance of pre-emergent. That's why I had crabgrass in my yard all the time. I never used pre-emergent. That's why, you know, we would go, one of the things that got me into lawn care is me and Dad would go to Lowe's, buy that Weed Be Gone, and it would have like 0.4% like 2,4-D in it. It's like, man, you got to use a whole bottle to kill a weed. What's wrong with this? Well, I had to learn about that. When you buy Speed Zone, which is what we talk about all the time, you're talking about 30% 2,4-D. It's concentrated, it's powerful. And so learning these little things from a professional, not me, but a professional on a lawn care plan helped me out a lot to be able to have what I have. And then it's contagious because people see it and it's a visual thing like, dang man, how'd you do that? What? I'm not smart. I followed what this guy told me, and then Mr. Kevin started doing it. Mr. Blake's working on it now, and our neighbors over here. It's a process. It's always a process. So sorry to go on and on, but there's so much that we could go to. That's a great question. But I think the best answer is what both of these guys said. The quality of seed, that's huge. But not taking shortcuts, because that's what I did. I would walk out and throw seed and water it and think that it was just going to look like this. And it never worked for like 3 or 4 years. I had to learn how to aerate it. I had to water it. I had to do the starter for it. I had to follow the directions and do the proper steps, and it worked. They didn't gyps me. So, yep. Are you eating a lemon? She's eating a raw lemon off camera. Does your kids eat raw lemons off camera? So, anyways.
That makes my throat hurt.
We have Big Red Racer.
Mhm.
How much leveling should be done at a time?
Ooh. How much I'm leveling. I'm not gonna ever tell you guys anything that I don't know about. The only leveling I have ever done is we had a tree on the side of my house over here. It didn't make it, died off, and I had it was like an 8-inch dip in my lawn. I bought sand. I filled it in with play sand all the way up, leveled it out to even, and I don't even know where that spot is anymore. I can't find the sand. I can't find the hole. It worked. I was like, holy crap, it worked. That's all I know. As far as leveling, like I've seen Ryan Knorr talk about this type stuff, like with his shortcut, like Kentucky bluegrass or whatever he's dealing with, and he's out there with a rake and leveling. I've not done that, so I don't want to give you the wrong information. I would rather tell you I don't know than to tell you, because I've never done that out here. It's something that needs to kind of be done at the church project, because there's runoff of that water on the first part. When you walk out the side door, there's like runoff with rock right there. And that kind of needs to be leveled out, which is just, I think, with some sand. Sand is what I see most people talking about, because your roots, now sand doesn't have any nutritional value. So that's one thing I've heard about lawn leveling is sand don't have no nutritional value. So you have to add in some biostimulant, some fert to give it for the plant to be able to make it. But when I put sand, I covered up some fescue that had grown down in there and covered it up. And then it just kind of, and after I've seeded, it just kind of went away. So I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if you guys have any knowledge about leveling at all.
Well, no, I've done some
Or
research.
what you've learned, yeah.
I've done some research into it, and especially with a cool season lawn, you would probably want to do a compost sand mix.
Makes
Just
sense.
because
The nutrient
you know
part.
sand works great when you're talking like a Bermuda or any kind of spreading
Right.
lawn, you know, like a bluegrass or Bermuda. But you know, with fescue, it's going to have to grow up through it.
Right.
So you want to give
Yep.
it some nutrients to
Yep.
go by. I wouldn't level like right now.
Oh, no.
I would do it very early spring, or I'd do it in the fall, and maybe combine it with overseed.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I hope that helps a little bit. You got anything on leveling?
Stay
No?
tuned, because I got some spots.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, I got some spots.
And I've researched because you know I have some spots that I'm looking at. There's a nice gully in the middle of my backyard I'd like to fix. So
I got an
you know, that
area
might be
over
something.
here that's
Yeah.
kind of like what was over here. It's just kind of a hole, and I'm like, man, I need to level that out. So we may do that at some point. Like he
It'd be a
said,
good project.
yeah, it'd be a good video. So you got another one?
Yeah, we have a lot. So
Good. Thank
Okay.
you guys for the questions. We'll try to. If we don't get to your question, I apologize. That means we need to do more live streams, right? So we can ask more questions. So, all right.
David Croson says, where do you get your humic acid?
I get mine from Pete. So I go through GCI Turf because he's about, what, 2 hours from us? When I order from Pete, and that's just me because we're near the Raleigh area. When I order from Pete, he's over a little bit north near the Reedsville area. I just buy it through the next line. So Humic 12, RGS, you know, Aerate all has humic acid in it. We talked about humic coated urea. You can get it that way. There's multiple places I know you can get it. You can probably get it through Amazon. You may even be able to get it through Lowe's and Home Depot. I'm not sure. I don't know that. But I always go through GCI Turf because whenever I buy it, I'm buying it concentrate. I'll mix it in a backpack sprayer and apply it. And I will get it from Pete in like 2 days. Like most of the time, he is like Johnny. Whoever ships for him is Johnny on the spot. And I know I'm inside North Carolina, but I get all my and sometimes I will go to Yard Mastery. I like to support Alan and them. They're in Florida. It takes a little bit more time to get here, but most of the time I go through GCI Turf since I found Pete. And if we got Southern Seeds, they're down here. I don't know that they do humic acid, but they do some products online. So Southern Seeds is another vendor that's close to the Central North Carolina area. And there's a lot of areas, and sometimes I'll go in somewhere and just buy something at Lowe's or buy something just to do it. But humic acid, I go through GCI most of the time. That's just me though. Shop where you want to shop, get the lowest prices. So.
Oh my gosh, there's so many comments. It's a lot.
Just pick one.
This one's kind of my favorite. BC says, is Mr. Kevin aerating his lawn this year? We know that you're not doing anything. Wondering what his plan is.
Great question.
Great
Thank you.
question. BC. Thanks, BC, for the question.
Thank you, BC. My plan is, and I'm crossing my fingers because I mean we still have a few more weeks of summer.
Right.
But my plan is, and you've probably seen this on some channels, is basically what they call a nitrogen blitz. So essentially, I want to do pre-emergent with the pre-emergent that I can't have pronounced, and also, you know, I want to hit it hard with nitrogen, not too hard. We don't want to
Right.
burn the lawn, but you know, I've seen some guys out there say, you know, if you really, you know, fall is a great time to push your lawn. If you don't have to oversee, you know, when you think about it, I mean, you're going to get this fall flush either way.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, put a little nitrogen in it, you know, encourage that flush.
Yep.
You know, maybe good time to get some biostimulants down and really just, you know, just watch it grow. And plus, it's a great time to mow because it's not as hot. So.
Yep. And you get to put your lawn striper back on, which
Yes.
is what I'm looking forward to, man.
Really looking forward to that.
I miss my striper, man. Mr. Blake got one. I finally got Kevin, talked him into it, so both of them got one. They're like, man, Kevin's like, I'm going to have to get me one. And he did. So he's working on that. But I think he... What?
Yeah, I need one for the big mower.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Blake's got a 0-turn, so he's got a big boy mower, not a little sissy Honda like me, sissy. But the other thing is, like he said, the time to go hard on nitrogen is fall, because the temperatures are falling. It's a cool season lawn, so it makes sense, right? Like when temperatures are rising in spring, you can do a lot of nitrogen, but you're going to be out there and the temperatures are rising, and you've got crabgrass and all that. So anyways, yeah. So that's the time when you want to go hard. I think fall is the time to make it shine. And man, I think Curtis, I can't remember his last name, but I was talking to Mr. Kevin about it. He mentioned something about, I'd asked the question of you guys what you want to see fert-wise, trying something new. He mentioned something with small perills. That's all I can remember. But I may go with his suggestion and try something new.
I gotta remember what that is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go look it up on the video. I know which video it is, but yeah, lawn striper comes back on in fall. We're striping this bad boy up, and we're making it. And yeah, it's gonna look. I can't wait. I can't wait. We're 3 weeks away or so. Anyways, next question.
Have you had any trouble with Dallas grass? This is from
Palmerita.
Parm.
Maybe Parm. We'll call you Parm. I've seen some Dallas grass, especially at the church. There is no weed that you will not find at our church. So we talked about that we've never planted grass out there, so you got every weed. Dallas grass is that thicker, everything's bigger in Dallas, that's what comes to mind. So it's that thick, fat blade. I've seen some of that. I think I had a patch of that up in the front lawn. If you guys know where my sign is in the flower bed, I had a patch of that right there on the corner. My wife and her mom, who passed away, laid that brick down. And right there in front of and so that brick is special with her. And right there in front of that brick is a big patch of Dallas grass popped up out of nowhere. I don't know where it came. So what I did was take the green shoots and that little precision glyphosate gel, and I did that area right there last year, and it took it out, and it's glyphosate. So glyphosate, that's pretty hardcore, but spraying it with the backpack sprayer is a little dangerous. Like, you don't want to mess up your fescue, but I took some. I've seen a little bit in my lawn as my answer, but I took the green shoots and I put it on there, and it took care of it, killed it off. And then last year when I did the triple thread, I overseeded it, and it seems to have stayed away. I think there's some more in my ditch over here on the left, but otherwise I've not had a big issue with it because I've stayed on top of the pre-emergence, and that's helped a lot. But this is the time of year where it starts wearing out and it can start creeping in. And so sometimes, just like that trib, you can just cut stuff out too. You don't have to apply chemicals all the time. And that's what some of these professionals will tell you. If you got the time, get out there, cut it out, put you some seed down, put you some soil like compost, mix, put some seed. And like when we're coming out of August into the fall, like right now, I think you would be all right to put some seed down and try to start the process. If it don't work, you're so close to overseeding, overseed it back. But that's an option. But Dallas grass for y'all, have y'all seen any of it in y'all's lawn?
I think I have some in my backyard, and like you said, it's very difficult to control. So
yeah,
that's probably all I would say.
Yep.
Hop Along Johnny says, what safe herbicides are you guys using for your flower beds? I think he also said, someone said something about getting a veteran's discount for heat.
Oh. Well, as far as the flower beds, my wife is my herbicide. She goes out there and plucks them. That's it. So I don't even go near them because, let me just say this. I love me. Kevin does too, and I know he's going to say it already, so I'll let him answer. But I love those little flowers. And this year, Madison didn't get out there and plant anything. They just popped up. And then even when the roof guy came to look at it before they did their work, he's like, I hope we don't hurt this. She's like, these just popped up. It looks good. And so I don't mess with those. She's got some roses over here. We got some, she was just plucking and eating some tomatoes off the vine over here. She said was delicious. So she handles we got some peppers right here around us. We got a cucumber back here, and she handles those. So she'll get out there every now and then when I'm out here spraying some RGS or putting biostimulus down. She'll say, well, let me get outside, and she'll find something to do. And eventually she goes through the weed beds, that's what they turn into, the flower beds, and pulls some of that little clover that it's almost like Bermuda. It comes up and just spreads on top, and it's just so easy that it's just bloop, she just pulls it right out. And so I don't spray any herbicides in the flower beds. I don't know if you do or not. Do you?
Well, I got behind on weeding this year. I can grow some awesome weeds in my flower beds, but that's about it. So I did get behind and did some glyphosate just because I had to catch up. But
yeah.
I think the other question was about a discount at GCI, and yes, you know, Pete does. You know, he's a great supporter of both military and law enforcement, and so he's got a discount program through that, and you can see that on the website. And I thank him for that because I use that.
Yep.
Because every dollar counts, right?
Yep. Every dollar counts.
Especially right now.
Yes.
Devin Dahmer says monster at 7:30 equals late night.
Not for me.
That's what
Not
it
for me.
says.
I could drink a Monster and go lay down and go to sleep right now. It's but you know, we'll stay on here, and I don't know how many we got. We only got what, 12 people? No.
36.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm willing to stay a little bit longer if these guys are, but hey, I enjoy this. I enjoy getting to talk with you guys, not just here's what I want you to watch and hear all the time. We get to interact with what you're experiencing, and I like that. But yeah, I can drink a Monster and be able to go in here and lay down. And Mr. Kevin, not so much. He's lost weight. And I'm jealous of him because he's got back on this carnivore, I think, in a bit. But he's staying away from the sugar and stuff, and I got to be more like Mr. Kevin. But yes, I quit the Monsters in the beginning of the year, and his wife is not a good influence because she'd come into Sunday school with a big fat white Monster. I'm like, man, that looks good. I'm about to make him spit his Coke everywhere. But anyways, yes, no, it's not going to be a late night. Plus, it's Saturday night, so hey, we can do some praying if I stay up all night. So I pray over the lawn. But anyways, next question.
Neil White says, Mr. Ferguson, what lawnmower do you use? I own a Honda, and sadly, Honda stopped selling mowers in the USA.
Yep, I read that. I heard that. Yeah, I've got Honda, thanks to my brother. Him and his wife, Jordan and Adam. These are I've done videos with them down in Wilmington. They donated that to me, to the channel, and so I'm very appreciative. Same thing with Pete. We talk about the veterans discount, the law enforcement discount. Pete, out of the kindness of his heart, donated to this channel, to myself, the Mr. Ferguson channel, a Typhoon backpack sprayer out of the goodness of his heart. He's a great guy. It's why I give him my business, because I know over time he's gonna get that money back one way or another, because he deserves it. He's a good guy. But I use Honda. I love it. I've bounced back and forth. I think Kevin has too, from a guy up the street near our church to sharpen the blade. So I'll put it right here on the post and just kind of sharpen it myself. Lately, I've just been doing my own blade sharpening. But I like the Honda. One pull, it's cranking. I'm bagging, I'm mulching sometimes, I'm mixing it sometimes. I had a Husqvarna previously. It was an inch wider, and that thing was really good. I got it not knowing anything about lawn care. It was right before I got into lawn care. I'll never forget, as a Lowe's down on Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh, bought like $100 lawnmower, a Husqvarna. It was great. It had the mulching blades on it. That thing was awesome. I bought a lawn striper for it. It looked great. It did, and I sold it to somebody off Facebook Marketplace, I think. But I'm happy with the Honda. I know they're not making it anymore. You can look at, if you're saving money and you're wanting to look professional in your yard, you can look at commercial type. You know, these things Pete's talking about all the time. If you want to go that route and look at that, like I want to look professional, and I also want to travel and maybe cut other people's yards and make some money. That's totally up to you. But I go with the Honda, and I'm going to ride that thing until it dies. So that's just me. And I think Mr. Blake's got the same thing. He's got a Honda, right? Same
Yes.
thing? Yeah, he's got a Honda as well. Kevin don't. He's got Mr. Deere.
John Deere.
Yeah, the John Deere with the lawn striper. So yeah. And
Hey, you're not alone. I do have a Kubota zero turn, so
yeah.
shout out to Kubota.
Kubota zero turn, John Deere, and I've just got the push mower. I've not had and Dad's got whatever lawnmower I had in high school. I rode and cut his grass, and that's the one that locked up
I
on.
think that's
So,
like an MTD or something.
I don't know what that thing is, but I'm sure
It's a
they don't make it
dinosaur.
anymore.
It's a dinosaur.
That thing's been worked on more than Bruce Jenner. I'm just saying. That's just, yeah.
And I'll give honorable mention to, you know, any of these small riding mowers, because I grew up.
Yep.
I grew up mowing yards on one, so
Yep.
you know.
I've tried to get young 14-year-old over here, but she's killing. She's cleaning cars, washing cars in the neighborhood. She's going out there making money. They made like 200 some bucks last week. No,
We've made
and
over
but she don't want to have
500.
anything to do with cutting grass. So all right, you got another question?
You're a little
Sorry.
entrepreneur.
We get off on monsters make us a little tipsy out here. We gotta wrap it up.
I'm on water, sir.
I gotta water. I need to start drinking. Go ahead.
Curtis Letty says, "What's up, bro?"
Curtis, hey, I think that's who was telling me about the fertilizer. If that's the same Curtis, but what's going on, Curtis? Anybody else ask anything?
Yeah. So
And if it's not lawn care, it don't have to be lawn care, but and how's the sound? Does the sound good, everybody? I know we're a little bit away from the camera, but I feel like we are speaking up to where y'all can hear us.
We're
So
trying to.
Yeah, we're trying to. It's kind of weird.
Mark Stegmayer says, man, I wish I could golf as much as you do. Jealous. I get to go once per year.
What? Once a year? Oh, you can get out there. Come on, man. Yeah, me and my dad play in like a Thursday night league after work. Luckily, I get to telework on Thursday, so it works out perfect. I'm playing with Dad as long as, you know, he's not old. He's only what? How is that? He's only 20 years older than me. So Dad's in his 60s. So it's like, but I'm going to, I hope he's not watching, but I'm going to enjoy the time to
Don't
be
worry,
able
we'll
to play
tell him.
with him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking about that today.
Somebody will tell him.
Yeah, somebody's
yeah,
gonna tell him.
yeah. I was thinking about that today. I was like, I'll never get to play from the gold tees with Dad because you got to be 60. He'll be 80, but yeah, that's not going to happen. So he won't be out here. But
It may.
no.
Hey, it may.
But if Dad don't play, I
Anything
don't
could
play golf. Tell these guys to get into it because yeah, yeah. So I at least every Thursday I go play with Dad, and we won some times last year, but now we got some people I think are fudging some scores. But anyways, it's fun. We go out there, we have a good time. You know, we go squirrel hunting. So yeah.
Rick says, hit the thumbs up, and John Ward says, do you use green effect during the summer to add iron?
Ooh.
Yeah, I love Green Effect so much that I haven't bought any this year because I put the stuff out. It smells like an iron company over here sometimes. So, but yes, that's a great, I love it. I personally like it. It's 7% nitrogen, 6% iron. I know it by heart. And if you add in some 002 microgreen, I know Jake the lawn kid was talking about this recently.
Double dark cocktail.
Yeah,
Yep,
double dark.
that's the
Yeah.
double dark cocktail you may hear. It can, that's the summer is the perfect time to put that down. But like Blake said, do your soil test because you can go overboard, like maybe me, and you're putting so much iron down, you're putting so much micro nutrients down that you can, your levels can just go sky high and you not realize it. So be careful. But yes, that is a perfect fertilizer, I believe, to put down in summer because it's also not going to grow a ton on the top to where you're out here in the summer in the 90s having to mow all the time, and that's an added benefit to it. So if y'all got anything, y'all just no. All right, next.
All right, Gary Kelly Jr. says, have you ever used Anderson's 420 Hydrocharge? I just bought a bag early summer and just bought another bag to finish out the summer. Cool season grass in the Chicago burbs.
Nice. Personally, for me, the only Andersons I've used is the HCU, the humic coated urea 4400. That's the only Anderson's product I have used yet. I've not used the one that you're specifically talking about, but from just that experience with that product, it was great. It may be a little bit overpriced being it's the Anderson's product and brand, but that year, I'm telling you, I still, to this day, go back to my pictures and look at my lawn when I striped it last fall using that urea, and I'm just like, and even Blake's like, man, you got me wanting to think about that urea. But I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man, it was dark, and I was pushing.
It hit different.
Yes, I was pushing a pound of nitrogen at times because I just kept feeding it like continuously, and it's soluble. So you can get your backpack sprayer and melt that stuff in the water, spin it up, and spray it. And I sprayed it every time. I think I put it down a granular application once, but I preferred to spray it. But man, it was just dark and beautiful. So the Andersons is good in my book. I've not used anything from that I've not liked so far. I don't know about you guys. Y'all use any Anderson yet? I don't think Pete sells it a lot. I think there's Yard Mastery. If you go to their website, they have some Anderson's products, but I don't think GCI does. But yeah, but I found that on domyown.com. I think it's do my own, do your own. Yeah, do my own. I think it's do my own. domyown.com.
Do my own.
Yeah, that's where I found that Anderson's product, and it was a great decision. Questionnaire over here.
Brian Connor says, I tried the fabric pots to start some germination and make plugs. How in the world did you get the soil and grass out and pack it into a hole without washing it?
So, I don't know. I just dumped it upside down. I took a round tip shovel and just dug my hole where it was bare and just took a guess. I mean, if you're going to get specific about it, you can measure that, you know, how many inches down you need to go. But I just took a guess took some of the wife's potting soil if I needed to go up some and just put it in there and dumped it in. And can you guys tell on the edge right there? Can you see where I put it in?
No,
They
I
can't tell. It's already grown in. Like I mean, it was thick too. If they stood over top of that, they could see it. But yeah, I grew that now. I started it again. Actually, yeah. Let me show you this. You see this? This is what happens when you do it in the summer. It don't work out too well. It don't get any fungicide, and there's some fungus on there. I don't know if you guys can see that real well, but in the summer, it doesn't work as well as when it's cooler outside. So this is like, it's pretty packed in hard and deep, but you can see where this is just natural. I think this was it might be triple threat. I can't remember, but yeah, it's, as they can see, it's just kind of, I've tried to keep it watered, but the heat just overcomes and just, it's like it zaps all the moisture out of it. But it's been a fun little experiment. And I've also played around a little bit with the Bermuda, but with the Bermuda, I may have taken some 505 and dumped it in and killed it. So it's gone, but I still have the seed over here. I tried to grow some more and I think I buried the seed too much, so I just quit. So I'm like, we'll do that another day. But
Brian Connor responded. He said, see, I only filled the pot about halfway. I'll try to the top next time. Thanks.
Yep, I took it all the way to the top because as you add water, it's going to come down and kind of settle anyways. But and make sure, and I'd put some peat moss up top too, because the mistake I made with the Bermuda is I put the Bermuda probably that too deep, so the sun's not getting to it. It's a water, but the sun's not getting to it because I buried it, and so it needed to be closer to the surface, and so that's why I just gave up. But yeah, it's fun to just, for the kids and stuff, just to take those fabric pots, fill it up with some soil, put some seed, and watch it grow. It's fun. But this time of year out here, yeah, it ain't happening. I've been watching it, how it naturally gets fungus just from the rain and the moisture, how it sucks the moisture out of the soil. It's cool to watch, but yeah, it's great for, we talked about poa-triv last fall. Like, we're gonna have hopefully we don't have to deal with that as much, but if you do and you're pulling that stuff out, getting those 12 pots, putting some triple threat, some GCI turf type tall fescue, growing that now in a area where you can get it to grow, and having that ready, you can just take out the poa-triv, put in the GCI. It will grow in because it's cooler temps. May never ever even know it was there. So just an idea. Yep.
Carl Meadow says, Mr. Ferguson, what would you think if someone put, I can't read that.
All right, let's see. Carl, thanks, Carl. What would you think if someone would put humichar, biochar, other soil corrections after aeration, if have several soil KY lawn here? Oh, Kentucky lawn, I think is what he said. So I don't know about these guys if they want to answer on that, but I have Cameron over at Elevated Lawns, great guy, super nice guy. He messaged me when I was talking about humichar, which I think that's an Anderson's product, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is.
So I have used 2 Anderson's product. I did the humichar because on my soil test, it always said I was low on organic matter, or OM. And I was like, what's OM? Organic matter. Okay, I need to add some more organic matter. And it was humichar with biochar in it. And so Cameron from Elevated Lawnscapes, super nice guy, messaged me, said, hey, be careful with that. He's like, I was doing the exact same thing you are, put down too much, and the organic matter has a tendency to absorb and hold moisture. So if it rains a lot, it's gonna hold that moisture. It can swamp your yard, is what he basically told me. Be very careful. So I put the 1 bag down. The next time I did a soil test, my OM numbers were up. It was better, so it helped. But he said, do not go crazy with that. So that would be my advice, is exactly from him to me to you, is be careful with that. As far as when to apply it, I'm not sure if after aeration is something you want to do. I don't think it would hurt anything. I think that's something you could put down all the time because it's not a fertilizer. It's not gonna. It's organic in material, so I think it would be fine every time. But just go light. It would be my suggestion. Do some more research on it. Find out some more about it. But it should help your soil test numbers. But if you're up in Kentucky, yeah, you're gonna have a nice looking lawn up there because you guys get nice cool temperatures. Probably pretty soon you guys will be getting more in the mode of overseeding and all that good stuff coming up soon before we will.
Carl says thank you.
Carl, thanks for tuning in, man. All right, we need a question for these guys over here. But while you guys are asking that question, Mr. Blake wants to show you something real fast. Sponsored by Hunter Smoke Shack and Sweets. This is our sponsor today.
We knew you were going to work that in.
Yeah, so this is our sponsor today. So
How do you know that?
as you guys know, Mr. Blake, he's a man of the meats. He always hooks us up at the basketball games, the concession stands. We go over his house for we do our fast for the church in January, and he hooks us up with pork. He's a super great guy, but he's dabbling in a new thing. I think it's newer, but I'll let him share something real fast with you.
It's newer. It's
Newer.
A lot of these people, like obviously Kentucky and up north, it's more of a thing. But around here, it's something newer. Freeze-dried candy.
It's really good.
And I have brought samples so we can do them live and let y'all see. So we have first, Mr. Ferguson requested
I want to
Jolly Ranchers.
Freeze-dried Jolly
Freeze-dried
Ranchers.
Jolly Ranchers.
So real fast, before we get back to the questions, don't go anywhere. There you go, if you can see that. Let us know what you think. So I'm guessing that's the green apple, the watermelon, the blueberry. There's a purple in there. So I don't know if Mr. Kevin wants to cheat.
Oh, you said blueberry? Yeah, I got to try that.
I think it's blueberry. So freeze-dried Jolly Ranchers.
Let me get a bite.
For the questionnaire.
Mm,
Live for the questionnaire.
it's like a Jolly Rancher.
Oh, wow.
Like a Jolly Rancher Cheeto.
Right. Right.
Pretty good.
Or a sugary Cheeto.
Or a sugar. Yeah. I've always liked green Jolly Ranchers. It's pretty good.
Oh my god. It melts in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See.
It's pretty wild.
Y'all,
See?
I recommend.
Very good.
So and then next up, we have fruit roll-ups
What?
in chip form.
What?
Fruit roll-up.
Oh my
Chips.
god.
That's right. Freeze-dried fruit roll-up chips. I'm
Alright,
not
we're showing
kidding you.
that.
Look right there.
Let me show them that.
What the crap?
Freeze-dried fruit roll-up chips. I've never heard of such, never seen such. Mr. Kevin. They look like
No, not just that.
the Mexican restaurant when you get the chips and salsa. That's what it looks like.
It's exactly like that.
My
Shout
daughter.
out to my wife for prepping all this.
Yeah, shout out to Mrs. Hunter.
Oh, wow. Those are dry. I haven't
What?
known.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
This is my favorite.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was bringing it over.
Oh.
All right, one more.
Wait, I mean, you said surprise you, so
I think I like the fruit roll-up the best so far.
I think you
So
took
far-
my water.
Did I?
man,
Oh, I'm sorry.
he's that thirsty.
I
He
stole
just
his
took
water.
your water.
I guess this one's mine.
And to mix things up,
Did you drink his?
No.
for anybody that likes chocolate, we have M&M's fudge brownies, freeze dried.
Oh, no.
Fudge brownie.
Yep.
You gonna show it to him?
Yeah. So
Fudge brownie.
look at it. Look how they swell up in the machine.
Fudge brownie M&M's.
I already know I'm going to eat two
Oh,
of
we
these.
have a
so-
Color
Comment.
doesn't matter.
There you go.
There you go.
David,
You got it, please.
David wants some candy now.
Yes. So Blake, if I was watching the live stream and I wanted to taste some of these products, how would I get them?
Hey, look us up on
Sit
Facebook
beside him.
or Instagram.
I wanted one.
We are on Facebook or Instagram. Send us a DM. We will work it out.
We're not able to do graphics and all that, as we're a bunch of
Is it good?
kind of rednecks on the back
I'm
porch.
sorry, you didn't get M&M?
No.
But Hunter's Smoke Shack and Sweets, if his wife is watching in the comments, she may want to throw a link in there. We'll allow it.
Absolutely.
Very good. So check it out. They ship, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I'll ship.
Ship barbecue sauce.
Can't,
Man, that is good.
I can't open it.
My daughter has to have some.
Yes.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
She's been running the message board. We can feed her.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll personally vouch for your barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
I
barbecue sauce.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good. All right. So, wanted to make sure we did that for Mr. Blake. So, all right. If you guys are still there, we can ask some more questions. What time we got?
8 or 5.
All right. We're just now hit. All right. We can go for a little bit longer if y'all are good.
Parm says, can you make a video on how you make and edit your videos?
Actually, I did that, and nobody watched it. It's not a secret. There's a app out there called InShot, and on Apple. I have Apple phone. That's what we're streaming off right now. Everything I do for my channel is off my phone. The only thing that is some of the details of the videos I'll do on my PC, which I built, but I've actually went into a Reddit chat of other lawn care content creators. Half the people use just their phone, half the people use their PC, so it's a mix out there. But there's a app on iOS called InShot. There's a free version. I use the paid version. It gives you different fonts and all this. I notice when other videos have fonts on their thumbnail, I know they're using InShot. It's a great app. They constantly are updating it, and so you can start your own YouTube channel with that thing. My daughter got it, and she tries, to do her own thing. That 100 Smoke Shacks and Sweets are coming up on me. But anyways, I did make a video back in the day, but it's difficult because I was like screenshotting and showing how I edit and cut it and all that. So we may do that again at some point, but check out InShot. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You can probably watch a tutorial. And yeah, and I know the younger generation, if you've got grandkids, you can probably say, here, figure that out, and 15 minutes later they'll show you how to make a whole video. So anyways, but yes, I do everything for the channel on my phone. So yep, and it works out. That's the age that we're in. So
all right, Gary Kelly Jr. says, last question. I bought a Flow Zone backpack sprayer. I'm scared to death to spray fertilizer. How are you the first couple of times you sprayed? Love your channel. I watch you every morning.
what's his name?
Gary Kelly Jr.
Gary.
I'll take this one.
Thank you so much. All right,
Yeah.
Kevin.
So
hook up the light.
with backpack sprayers, I think some of you know I got Alan's Yard Mastery one. Was it last year?
Yep.
Yeah. So the very first time, what you want to do, and what I did, is just spray water. Like don't put any chemicals. Just spray water. And probably the greatest example that you could do is run a pattern up and down your driveway, especially if you have like a concrete driveway, because you'll be able to see how wide the pattern is, right? And how much it's putting down. You can also do a measure out a gallon, and so that'll give you an idea of how fast your sprayer puts out. Having those two things in mind, then you can, what I would do is just fill it up and walk kind of a predetermined area. You kind of measure out about 1,000 square feet and spray that 1,000 square feet and see how much product you have left, and that'll give you an idea of your walking pace and whatnot. What I've done, what I did when I got my first sprayer, which wasn't a backpack sprayer, but then when I got the Yard Mastery, is the first thing I put down was some biostimulants, because you're not going to mess that up, right? You're not going to end up with weird patterns in the yard or anything that you don't want. So that's what I would do first. So.
Yep, that's exactly right. And you can screw up with granular. Like, there's plenty of Reddit pictures out there where everybody's like, what happened to my lawn? And it's green here, and it's brown here, and it's green here, and it looks like they're trying to grow corn or something. I don't know. It just looks terrible. So you can have malfunctions and errors with granular just as you can with liquid. But like he said, what Pete, I think, maybe I missed it if he suggested this, but start in your driveway. Clear your cars out. Get your cars out. Did you say it? Yeah. And walk with just water. And look at your nozzle and say, okay. And then, like he said, step 2, go with biostimulants. Like he said, RGS, it's great for the lawn, but it's not going to color change your lawn. So practice with that. And then, like he said, and then if you're really nervous, find a piece of property to practice on. If you've got something, like, go to your pastor. Hey man, can I spray fert on your lawn? And try it there. Or try it at a friend's house, or someone's like, yeah, I don't care, man, do whatever you want. Practice on somebody else's land or somewhere for practice before going there, but eventually you just have to take the step. And again, think, okay, it's just grass, it's not the end of the world. And if it's summer, my opinion, like, this is the best time to do it, because if you do screw up in a major way and kill everything because you didn't calculate right, and you're just like, it's the worst that you could have ever imagined, well, it's almost fall and you can overseed. So it's like, okay, well, I can fix my mistake because we're this close to fall. But eventually you just have to take that step and do it like Mr. Kevin said, and have confidence that you know what you're doing. And as long as, like you said, do the research, look it up. It's like, well, I'm not going to take, I'm going to do what they said. I'm not going to take these guys' advice. Don't take our advice. You can listen to what we say, but look up what professionals are saying, like Pete, like Alan, like others, other lawn care channels, and see, okay, is what Mr. Kevin's saying right? But you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But it is a big step to spray. because my dad only did granular, and that's all I knew growing up was he would do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, granular, 10, 10, 10, all the time. So I was like, screw it. I bought a little automatic 2-gallon sprayer plus, and I started with that and was like, hey, if I mess up, and I just did it. I just went out and did it, and I've just been doing it. And so I've never had it to where I've really messed up so bad it's like really noticeable. So if I can do it, I know you guys can do it. So you got anything on that?
No, I did the driveway
He's in a
method.
sugar buzz over here.
I did the driveway method.
So we got a
typhoon. So.
We got a question for Mr. Blake specifically, so we got to go next.
Oh.
Neil says, Mr. Ferguson or Blake, let's talk barbecue. Please tell me why North Carolina barbecue is best. I'm a Memphis barbecue fanatic, by the way.
Oh, wow. That could be a live stream in itself.
My boss would love this question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's a loaded question. I grew up here, Central North Carolina, but I'd say I'm in the middle because I don't prefer Eastern or Memphis. Like I can eat either one. I mainly do Memphis style because so many people request it. And I think when I started cooking for the church, a lot of the members were like, where's that vinegar sauce?
Yeah.
And I was just like, just try this. If you don't like it. And now, we have converted
Everybody
people.
loves it.
We have converted people.
Yeah.
And see, I'm a Lexington barbecue person.
To me, all barbecue is good.
See?
It is.
See there.
All barbecue is.
But I've also traveled. I love,
taste the same.
if any of you are from Texas, I love your barbecue.
Oh, have mercy.
Would-
We can't.
would
That's a
love
whole.
love to come back and do that again.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a whole
That
nother.
I was in West Virginia.
It's gonna
You
turn
get,
to a food stream, you know that.
yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah. Hey, I've been telling Mr. Blake, all he's got to do is throw a camera up when he's showing how he cooks his pork and everything, and he'd get subscribers.
I'd watch it.
So yeah, I'd watch it. Be like, man, I know where I'm going for lunch.
He said, nice, Mr. Blake.
Yep.
Yep.
So I like both as well. At first I didn't like the North Carolina vinegar-based barbecue. I love it now, and I like the tomato-based. I guess is what the other one is, right? Tomato-based. Is that right? The sauce, tomato sauce. But yeah. Anyway.
I could get really specific and say
Yeah, I
it's the
know.
only kind of barbecue sauce, but I won't do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So I'm not too picky on it, but I do love his barbecue. Whatever. Yeah. If he's and I think his wife has even tried to make the vinegar-based sauce as well.
We've been
right?
playing with it. We've been
Yeah.
dabbling with it. It ain't where I want it. I kind of have high standards. But that's another reason why I play with it, because I do like playing with flavors and profiles and mixing things up, because who wants the same thing over and over again?
Yeah. And my boss is a barbecue fanatic. Like, he has a map of the United States that talks about the different sauces in every state. And yeah, he is all over that stuff. But anyway.
Neil says, Texas is no sauce. Love Texas brisket. Memphis dry rub.
Yep. Memphis dry rub. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Grace says, would you recommend putting down boa constrictor even though you are not overseeding instead of the pre-emergent prodiamine?
You could.
You can do that. Would I recommend it? No. Because I think he's going to say the same thing, but I'll let him answer on his own. We both used that last year. And in the front yard, I think that boa constrictor that we've talked about, the ethofumicate, if you don't know what we're talking about, is the active ingredient. It is like tenacity in the fact that you can apply this at the time of seeding. So if you're overseeding your lawn this fall, we've talked about recently on the channel, you can put down ethofumicate at the time of seeding, and it is labeled to help stop poa annua as a pre and post emergent. That's what it's labeled. We tried it in the spring, it did jack diddly nothing. So if you apply, and we tried it in Mr. Kevin's yard. We applied it in the backyard, and it didn't kill anything post emergent in the spring. So we tried it in the fall. Personally, in my front yard, I think it helped to reduce it. I still had POA pop up in the front yard. It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't all over the place. I think it reduced it. And just like I said in the video, I should have done a second app 21 days later, like the label says, because if you read the label, it actually says put 2 to 3 applications down in the fall. So from seeding, 21 days later, you should be doing it again. And 21 days later, if you're seeing any POA, I would do it a third time because that's what it says on the label. but I felt like it helped, but I didn't do exactly what the label said, because I was like, it's getting cold as well. It's October, and you're like, I don't want to get out here and spray. It's like cool, and so I didn't do the other 2 apps that it says that I should have done. However, if you're saying do that instead of prodiamine or dithiopyr, I would say absolutely go with the dithiopyr or prodiamine, because those are going to absolutely 100% stop POA annua. I've seen it, and that is the king of stopping POA annua right there. But if you have to overseed, that's when I would recommend also add in to your arsenal ethofumicate. And I know Mr. Kevin, he's been battling POA in his backyard. It's been frustrating, so I'll let you comment on what your thoughts are on it, because he bought the Etho 4SC, if you recall.
And I used it, I used it last fall. I put down 2 applications. I applied it again this spring. It suppressed it some. So to answer your question, I would do a pre-emergent, and maybe do, if you have the ethofumicate on hand, I would do that as well. That's probably what I'm going to do, just because of the problems I've had. I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy ethofumicate to put with your pre-emergent if you don't already have it. But if you had it, I'd do that.
Yeah, because it's not cheap, but it's not crazy expensive. It's affordable. But like he said, if you don't already have it, probably not worth going out and buying it. I think it's somewhere around $70-80, right? Wasn't it?
It was, like, when I bought it, it was around $70 for a gallon.
Yeah. So it like, that's what got me into the lawn game, of stopping POA annua. And so I'm all about pre-emergent. That's number one. But if I have it, like he said, it doesn't hurt to put that on top. So yeah, it's because POA annua. Remember, number one, NC State said it starts in North Carolina 1 September, 30 October. 80% of POA begins to germinate. Can't see it yet. It starts germinating, but we can't see it. We got 3.5, 4-inch grass, so you're not going to see it pop up yet. And one of the things they talk about is when it lays those seeds, they can lay dormant. This year it may not pop up and sprout, but those seeds next year may germinate next year. It's kind of, you don't know when. So every time we want to stop POA, because when it's throwing out those seed heads, you never know when they're going to pop up down the road. And until we really eliminate the thread and try to stop it completely year after year, it's going to be an issue year after year. So like he said, the ethofumicate, I feel like, Paul's Prime Cuts talked about it. He's going around in Raleigh. He's spraying that stuff down. Couple applications at the lawns that he's maintaining, and it's working for him. That's what. Well, actually, Kevin bought it first because he was researching. Then I saw Paul talking. I was like, man, I need to get on board with what these guys are doing. So yeah, I'm curious to see if he does it over there. We may do a video on that on your backyard. If he's going to do multiple apps of that, we may try that. But anyways, yeah, Grace, good question.
Oh wait, we have one more question.
We got one more, and maybe we'll call it quits there if we don't have any more burning desire questions out there.
Losing daylight.
Is it okay to kill clover now? Oh wait, sorry, Johnny says, is it okay to kill, oh, we got another one. Is it okay to kill clover now, then reseed fescue sometime in September? Any other tips before I reseed?
Is it okay to kill clover now? I mean, weed-wise, it's summer, so Sarah Jane, what are you doing?
Mom wants some.
Oh, they got a candy request. Oh,
They're still they're stealing the candy.
They're sending the kids out here to get the candy. That's how good it is. Make sure you go on Facebook, look up Hunter's Smoke Shack and Sweets. I mean, summertime, I'm mixed on this because, like, I think I'll go back to what Kevin said. If you've got some Speed Zone, if you've got some Weed Be Gone from Lowe's, and you want to go out and spray weeds, by all means, go out and spray weeds. You got to be careful about maybe when you do it. You don't want to stress out anything, because obviously when you're doing 2,4-D, it's not going to kill your grass. It harms the weeds, not the grass, but you are adding a chemical to your lawn, so you want to be careful there. But summer weeds, eventually, when I first did my backyard, I killed it off so quickly, like I've told you guys 1,000 times, I feel like. It grew in some crabgrass, some this, some that, whatever popped up. And once that grew back in, I didn't go out and kill that. I just planted my seed over top of it. And because they were summer weeds, they went away on their own. Whether that was the right thing to do or not, I don't know, but they go away on their own. So in one way I could say, hey, if you're bored, go out with some 2,4-D, spray them, sure. I don't think that's a big deal. Just don't go crazy with the product to kill the clover. But if it's a warm season weed, it's going to go away on its own as temperatures drop. they're going to die off because they don't like the cold, so they're going to go away. So keep that in mind. If you're like, I don't want to put a lot of chemicals in my soil, then you don't have to keep an eye on it, and maybe you want to spray some. Again, you can do the precision glyphosate. I like that stuff because you're only hitting exactly what you want to hit. So I know you're going to say something.
Well, what I would add here is this is where knowing your lawn helps, because you know, if you've had this problem for a couple of years, it's come back, it's you know, it's persistent again and again.
Yep.
What I typically do, I look at my soil temperatures. You know, shout out to Alan Hain and Yardmaster's app, because you know it puts the soil temperature right there. But you know, you can get online and see that too.
Yep.
You know, look at when your soil will hit 70 degrees. I'd count back about 15-20 days from that, and that's when I start getting it. I'll start killing weeds heavy at that point, because I know it's right before I'm gonna either whatever I'm gonna do. You know, air temperatures aren't that high at that point, because you know a whole lot of these 2,4-D products tell you that if the daytime temperature is going to exceed 85, you know,
Don't put it down.
They'd prefer you not to put it down in there. So.
Good deal. One more or no?
What else?
Yeah, we have a question for Miss Ferguson. David wants to know how Miss Ferguson's blueberries are.
They are dead.
They are dead.
Blueberries didn't make it.
The blueberries did not make it, Mr. David. Sorry. But like Mr. Kevin said, we're running out of daylight. I've got this cheap, I did an Amazon special light, so hopefully you can still see us a little bit. I don't know how you can. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was long overdue. This is fun. I enjoy this, especially with two other guys that I talk with about it. It's more fun than, you know, not that Miss Madison isn't fun. I'm going to get off that topic. I'm going to get off that. But it's fun to have a little panel here, and to be able to have a guy that has what freeze-dried candies to bring over and snack on and advertise, and then
I think we need to go find some.
Mr. Kevin let me borrow his thumb drive earlier that I need. So this has been fun. I've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up. If you got questions, leave it. Leave it in the next video. Say I didn't get to ask this, and there may be some people that didn't make it to the live stream. Tell them how great it was, how much they missed out on it, and if you want to see it again, put that in the comments of the videos coming up, because I've enjoyed it. So I want to thank Mr. Kevin. I want to thank Mr. Blake. They've been great. Give them a bunch of hand claps or smiley faces in the chat.
Round of applause.
Round of applause.
Hey, I'm upset that I'm a member and I didn't get to use my emotes because I'm here.
And that's what I was
I
going to
didn't get to
say.
use my emotes because I'm here.
Yeah.
So shout out to the members that used all their emotes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. If you want to be a member, you get special custom emotes. The more members we get, we've only got 4 right now, and I think it's like I put a GCI up there, which I hope Pete don't mind, but I put a GCI up there because we talk about it so much on the channel, and a Mr. Ferguson, and I don't know, I did like a hand palm, I don't know. There's only 4 of them. So check out the channel memberships. I know I mentioned it, but you get some emotes, and the more we get, the more emotes YouTube unlocks. And so we get more and more, and we can create what you guys want and customize that. You get some of the videos early, and there's other perks in there that I need to go back and refresh myself on. And so, but anyway.
Like some posts for members only.
Yeah, posts for members only in the community channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much stuff. And there's 2 different tiers, so check that out. If we do more live stream, those emotes become more like Ed. I know Ed's out there, and Chris Glenn. He's super nice. I don't think he made it tonight. But if you guys enjoyed it, let us know. Let us know in the comments. We need to do this again, that you've enjoyed it, or maybe we need to wait and maybe do another one in September around seeding time. I think that'd be a great time to try to do this again. So encourage these guys to come back. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to walk over here. If they got anything else they want to say, you want to plug anything real fast before we go?
No, I think we plugged it enough.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you on the next one.